I come from granite. Quarries, mostly. In the foothills of the Sierra Mountains, in towns like Loomis and Rockland. Mostly Rockland. Yeah. Since the late 1800s, when my great-grandfather, Matt Rucola, came over from Finland and founded the Rucola Family Granite Company. He and his sons would chip away at that granite and ship it across the state to build capitals and roadways. Yeah. A lot of the granite that was taken from those quarries can actually be found not too far from here in a graveyard marking the stones of some of my family members. I come from granite, which means strong and tough and durable. It means still, ancient, patient. It comes from heat and pressure under the earth, which reminds me of my Finnishness. And you. My grandmother. Her name was Betty, but I called her Dom. We never figured that out, did we? Dom. What, 2, 3 years old maybe? I don't think we ever really got to the bottom of it, did we? Yeah, that was what I called her. Dom. She lived in a house not too far from the quarries. It was a house that was on a big plot of land, and it wasn't a small house. It was just small compared to how many people were living in it. My grandmother had 10 siblings. 10 siblings. There were 11 kids in this one building, and just me and my family. I'm an only child. My mom is an only child, too. Yeah. Ever since I was 4 months old, my mom and dad would travel around the world like gypsies, visiting all different countries and continents, Bali, Mexico, Eastern Europe. And Dom and I stayed home. We stayed put. She helped raise me. We stayed home, we stayed put together like a rock. And I'm doing all this kind of self-discovery of where am I going and where have I been, and I just keep finding myself through this process, just collecting and connecting and finding pieces of you in me, and so much remembering and memories and remembering, memories, so much remembering. You remember the times, I should say, when we would park your car not far from that seawall that was not even a quarter mile from your house. And we'd park the car and we'd walk to the seawall, and you had to limp because of that dislocated hip of yours and all those surgeries. She used to say that when it was cold, it hurt more. But we'd get up on this seawall and we'd tell stories. We would pretend. We would wear little hats that we would have pulled from your collection and had scarves around our necks, and sometimes we'd even have a brooch on our lapel, wouldn't we? And we'd talk in English accents like that. I think I was 7, maybe. Yeah, we'd sit there on the seawall, and I would run down and dig things up in the sand. I'd find things in the sand, and I'd bring them back, and we'd tell stories about them. I remember finding a piece of broken pottery once, and oh, let me see the broken pottery. Oh, I put my tea down. Oh, yes. Oh, this has come from far across the ocean. This might have been from Greece or maybe Rome. Yeah, we'd tell a lot of stories. We did that a lot. Or do you remember the time we were sitting in the back seat of that rental car driving through Europe and those tiny little windy streets in England and Ireland and Scotland, me and you in the back seat, my parents in the front. We'd look out one window at the landscape and talk about what we saw. And we'd look out the window of the other window and we'd discuss all the things we saw. Yeah, I remember one time we saw a cow sleeping on a beach. We thought that was the funniest thing we'd ever seen. We talked about it the entire trip. Yeah, and we stayed in these big palatial bed and breakfasts that looked like they had huge facades. They were built like castles, and inside were tiny little hotel rooms. And we'd share rooms together, right? We were roommates. There were decades between us, and we were sisters in the car and roommates in the hotel room. I come from granite, which is supposed to have some healing qualities too, or so I've read. It's supposed to help you banish skepticism and think big picture. It's supposed to have an alignment quality to it too. It's literally born from decaying rock that is underneath the Earth's surface, that is pushed together with heat and time and pressure and the slow movement of tectonic plates until it's pushed up to the surface where it's smooth, beautiful, and gracious. And don't think that I'm not on to you, by the way. With all this exploring and all this remembering, you've had your hand in this. The other night when my husband Mike was on a business trip and I was upstairs alone brushing my teeth, kind of wandering around the bathroom, went into my closet, just kind of brushing my teeth. And I looked at that bookshelf. It's a shelf in my closet, and I looked at it, and there they were, these books. Like they've been there forever, right? I mean, there are just a couple of novels and a couple of memoirs on this shelf, and then there was this kind of pile of stuff, things I tossed out of my pocket and gum wrappers and things, and I pushed those things aside. You always said if you move things aside, you'll find what you're looking for. And there it was. There it was. It's that red velvet journal with the kitty cat, the gold kitty cat on the outside that Dad gave. Yes. I opened it up and it was inscribed by my dad telling me I would grow up to be a poet. And the first thing I turned to was the first page of a series of pages documenting that very trip to Europe. That bookshelf, that books I'd been there. Or a couple weeks after that, and I was sitting downstairs in our storage room, and I cleaned all these things out, and I had a big box of things to throw away and a big box of things that would be donated. And I'd gone through all the things. I'd identified what we needed, what we didn't need, and Mike wanted to take a look at it, make sure we hadn't overlooked anything. Yeah, babe. No, I've looked through it. Oh, okay, yeah. Really, that's an AT&T training manual. You haven't worked there in like 9 years. We're going to keep it. I don't think... We sold that car. I don't know if we need the license. We need it. Got it. Okay. Now, are we good? Because I've done... Okay, now what? Let me see. Babe, this is literally like an inch thick pile of paper of drawings and poems, and there's even a computer written typed letter from when I was in college. How did I miss this? I'd gone through the box. She was an amazing cook. The way she moved around the kitchen, whether it was the one in San Mateo when she lived there, or the one that she had when she lived in San Rafael, she could make anything. I mean, most of what I remember is things that she could bake. Oh my God, if I close my eyes, I can still smell that lemon meringue pie. I mean, really amazing. Sometimes Jamie and Quinn and I, we pull out your box with all the card catalog and the handwritten recipes, and we just pull something out and give it a shot. And I'm not there yet. Working on it. You know, making things in the kitchen, making things in the garden, always with the garden. You used to tell me that if you could talk to a flower, it'll grow faster. Big things in the kitchen and outside, but little, intricate things too. Ornaments that were made with details of Christmas trees and reindeers. Tiny, intricate detail. Yeah. She loved crossword puzzles, mystery novels. She was always best friends with her pastor. She had a really good friend named Fitzy that she would go have drinks with and play cards. She had this collection of scarves and hats and lipsticks and all these dainty things. Oh, a Manhattan. Neat. I tied her up once. Now don't get this is an innocent story, but I did. I tied her up. I was a young kid, and my mom and dad were out, and I tied you up. I think I used jump rope maybe for your hands, and I don't remember what I tied your feet together with, and I gagged you with that scarf. Thanks. And you just, oh, help, what are you doing? And I hid, I ran around, and I hid in the bathroom, and you sat there in that chair, pretending to be kidnapped, and I hid for 5 minutes, 25 minutes, until Mom and Dad came home and saved you. You did that all the time. You did that all the time. When I was a little older, in high school, I would wait till she went to sleep, and I'd creep across the floor, and I'd bend down, and could see the light kind of spilling out from underneath the guest bedroom where you slept, and I knew you were doing a crossword puzzle, or, I don't know, washing your face and getting ready for bed, and I'd wait because when that light went off, you know, I could listen to music too loud or call my boyfriend after I wasn't supposed to. So I'd wait until that light went out. And then that light went out. That light went out. I come from granite, and all the hard edges and all the qualities that it has. But you know, I've been raised with soft edges. I've been raised flexible and porous. By Dom, by my parents, by my paternal grandma. And I get it now. I get it. You've been here the whole time. You've been here every single step of the way. Jamie and Quinn, yeah, I'm so glad you guys came out here and did this with me. Yeah, it's cool, right? Isn't it pretty? Sitting on this granite seawall with you guys. This is awesome. Yeah, so we come out here and talk in these funny accents, and well, yeah, of course, there's lots of stories. I could tell you lots of stories about Dom. Okay. Where should we start?